Good afternoon and welcome to today's webinar on Morukuru family. I'm joined by Wassenaar, who is the marketing manager at Morukuru. And at Small World Marketing, we handle the UK PR, which is why we've got them on with us today. So just a bit of housekeeping, this will be recorded and we'll be uploading it to our YouTube, and then we will also send it out in the follow-up. And if you've got any questions throughout the webinar, please pop them in the Q&A and we'll get to them at the end. Rince will be answering everybody's questions then. But I'll hand over and we'll get started. Over to you, Rinse.
Thank you very much, Alice, and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining today. It's half term in the UK, so probably some of you are on leave and have got kids in the house, all of that. So thank you very much for making time. As Alice said, my name is Rinse Wassenaar, and I'm looking after the marketing for Morukuru family. For those of you who are not that familiar with Morukuru family, we've got properties in 3 different areas. We've got 2 city villas in Sandton in Johannesburg. We've got 3 safari houses or safari villas in Madikwe Game Reserve, which is about 4 hours northwest of Johannesburg on the Botswana border. And then we've got another villa on the ocean in the Hoop Nature Reserve, as well as a 5-bedroom eco lodge. And the Hoop Nature Reserve is about 3.5 hours drive from Cape Town, just past Cape Agulhas, which is the southern tip. Hermanus is a little bit further west from us, and east from us is the Garden Route and Knysna. So we're also about 3.5 hours from Knysna, and that makes the Hoop Nature Reserve actually a very nice halfway stopover between the Garden Route and Cape Town. And you can also easily combine it with Franschhoek, the winelands. It's about a 2.5 hour drive from Franschhoek over the Franschhoek Pass. So you can do a nice circuit in that Western Cape area. So before we go into detail in the different areas and properties, I just want to quickly show you a rundown of the areas and the properties, just to give you a bit of an overview and a bit of a guideline maybe. So we've got the 2 city villas in Sandton, Ethel Place House, which is 9 bedrooms. That used to be Ethel Place Hotel before, but we changed it during COVID to exclusive use only. We also still have Ethel Place Villa, which is a 4-bedroom private villa. We're about 30 minutes from OR Tambo Airport. And if you book one of those villas, then airport transfers, breakfast and drinks are included. It's a wonderful home away from home for people just, prior or after a safari somewhere in South Africa or even in some of the neighboring countries. Then in Madikwe Game Reserve, we've got 3 safari villas, Owner's House, the 2-bedroom house. River House is a 3-bedroom house, and Farmhouse is a 5-bedroom house. They all operate completely independently. Each of the houses has a private vehicle, is fully staffed, and all your meals, drinks, and activities are included. And then finally, in the Hoop Nature Reserve, we have another villa, which is Ocean House. That's a 4-bedroom villa, and we have Beach Lodge. That lodge you can book on a per-room basis. It's got 5 suites, so that's the only real lodge within Morukuru family. The Hoop Nature Reserve, Ocean House, and Beach Lodge, we are part of Relais and Chateau, as from the 1st of November. Ocean House and Beach Lodge operate pretty much in the same way. It's just that with Beach Lodge, you are more structured with regards to meal times and activities. At Ocean House, as a guest, you have the total freedom to decide when you would like to have meals and when you would like to go on activities. In all properties, we welcome kids of all ages. And in Madikwe Game Reserve, as well as in the Hoop, they can also join on all activities. So if you're looking for a family holiday with younger kids, and kids also obviously want to join the rest of the family on game drives, then Morukuru family in Madikwe could be a very good option. Through Morukuru Goodwill Foundation, we have been supporting nature conservation and local communities, especially around Madikwe, since 2010 roughly. And we are offering our guests the option of booking the optional package Safaris with a Purpose, and that will immerse them in conservation and community support. But I will get back to that a little bit later. Let's first take you to the Hoop Nature Reserve. This picture shows you a bit of the scenery and the location. You can see we are a short walk down to various little coves and beaches. It's a 50-kilometer or 30-mile coastline. And it is a protected area. It's a marine protected area, and that means that both the ocean as well as the land in the reserve are protected. No boating activities allowed, no fishing, no diving, no surfing, none of that. It's pure nature, and that also means that the bay in front of the Hoop Nature Reserve, which is in fact the Indian Ocean, is full of whales between July and end of October, and those whales are very relaxed because they're not harassed by any boats. There is an airstrip in the Hoop Nature Reserve, so you can fly in on a private charter. It's about a 1-hour flight from Cape Town, and then it's a 25-minute transfer from the airstrip to get to our properties. If you are driving, it's an easy drive from Cape Town or Knysna. As you drive into the reserve, you can drive all the way to the end, and that's where you'll find, at Kopia Lane, that's where you'll find our properties. A little further east is Natural Selections property, Lekkerwater. They use a different entrance into the reserve, and there's no road connection between Morukuru family in the Hoop and Lekkerwater. So the only way to get from one to the other would be almost like a 10-15 kilometer walk, which I'll get back to a little bit later as well. So once you get to the Hoop Nature Reserve, obviously one of the big draw cards is the whale watching. It's land-based whale watching only, and the best months are July until end of October, with the peak months August and September. That's when the calves are being born, and that's when you see lots of mums and calves. But these pictures were just taken from the property. So if you are staying at Beach Lodge or Ocean House and you look out of your window, this is what you'll see during whale season. Other activities that we offer is guided walks, mountain biking. I mean, that fynbos vegetation is spectacular. There's lots of different plants and flowers, flowers throughout the year pretty much. There's a nice flowering season in spring, but even in April, May, you'll still see lots of different flowers as well. Another very popular activity is the tidal walk. At low tide, the guide will take you on a walk, and because it is a protected reserve, there's so much to discover as nobody can actually remove anything. You can pick it up, you can look at it, but you need to put it back. So you'll find octopus, abalones, oysters, mussels, all kinds of living creatures that you don't even knew existed. So to me personally, that marine walk, that tidal walk, is almost the same as going on a big 5 walk in a safari area. Snorkeling and swimming in protected rock pools. A lot of people ask me, isn't it way too cold to swim? We are actually on the east side of Cape Agulhas. It's the Indian Ocean, so the waters are much warmer compared to Cape Town. And especially in summer, it's just very, very nice to go and swim and cool off in those rock pools. But even in winter, you can go for a swim. We do have wetsuits. We've got the mask, the snorkels, we've got the rock shoes. Everything is provided, so you don't need to bring anything. And it's a very colorful environment. There's lots to discover, not just for kids, but also for adults. Another fun activity is the sandboarding that we offer. The sand dunes are right next door to Morukuru Beach Lodge. This is a popular activity with kids, but even adults enjoy it quite a bit. And then the Hoop Nature Reserve is home to game as well. It's by no means a safari destination. It's a marine coastal experience, but we're fortunate enough to have Cape Mountain zebras, there's bontebok, there's ostrich, baboons, Cape leopards, although we have never seen a Cape leopard. We see a lot of treks. We've seen caracal, there's lots of birds as well. So seeing those animals is a nice bonus. We do take guests out on nature drives as well. It may look like a safari activity, like a game drive, but it's really intended to cover greater distances in the reserve, rather than just being on foot or on a mountain bike. Morukuru Family the Hoop operates off-grid completely. So we rely on solar for our energy, for our electricity. And we've got 192 solar panels producing all the electricity. The power is stored in battery packs, and for the hot water and underfloor heating, we use a pellet burner system as well. Then Morukuru Goodwill Foundation has teamed up with the local community. We are supplying all the gear, the equipment, the materials, and the local community helps us get rid of the rooikrans, which is an invasive species, and it's taking over from fynbos vegetation. So we're actually cutting those bigger trees, and we're using the wood as firewood in our own properties, but we're also selling it. And at the moment, we're working with a project to turn it into little pellets that we can burn in our pellet burner. So it would really be a circular closed system. Getting to the properties now, Morukuru Beach Lodge. 5 suites. 2 of them are Ocean View suites, 2 is Ocean View family suites. There we accommodate 2 adults plus 2 kids under 16, and then we've got 1 honeymoon suite as well. You can see the location here. It's right next door to the sand dunes. It's a beautiful hidden corner of South Africa. Not many people know about it, not even, you know, in the Western Cape. That means it never gets really busy, and you've got all that space, 50 kilometers of coastline to explore. A nice view of the lodge. You can see 2 suites on the left-hand side. Those are the Ocean View family suites. Then we've got the 2 regular Ocean View suites, and around the corner is the honeymoon suite, which is more or less a sideways facing. There's a bar area upstairs, and downstairs is your dining area, the fire pit. All the rooms are exactly the same. It's just that we've chosen to limit the number of guests, and therefore only 2 of the 5 suites are family suites. What we do in the family suite is this bay window bed. We convert that into an extra bed for 1 or 2 children, but even adults like to sleep in this particular bed, and then they put the kids in the bigger beds in the room. We can also put an extra fold-away bed if necessary. Just one of the regular Ocean View suites. You see we do have television, which is normally hidden away, but people can watch television if they want to. And then the honeymoon suite. The honeymoon suite is the only room that has a large outside space. So if you've got your own outside bath, there's plenty of room for dinners, there's sun loungers. The other rooms have got a smaller balcony only. Then all rooms have got a nice big bathroom en suite, big rain showers. Your dining room at Beach Lodge, we can sit inside or outside, depending on the weather, obviously. The fire pit in front, which is great for sundowners or breakfast as well. And then the courtyard in the back, nicely sheltered from the winds, further outdoor seating for meals. And this is also where you'll find the pool as well as the hot tub. So even if we fully booked with 10 adults and 4 kids, all different couples, different families, there's always space for people to find their own little bit of privacy. They don't have to sit together if they don't want to. There's plenty of space around Beach Lodge. There's an upstairs lounge area as well, which is a great viewing point for the whales. And outside we have the rooftop terrace. Especially in summer, it's a great place to just hang out. So that's Beach Lodge that you can book per room. About 1 kilometer to the left is our ocean house, which is exclusive use only. So it's a private villa, 4 bedrooms and a children's bedroom, and we can accommodate up to 8 adults and 4 kids under 16. Completely private, very isolated. You can just walk down to the beach if you want to. You can see the solar panels, and if you look very clearly, you can see that there's a hot tub in the fynbos as well. It's our orange Dutch tub, which we heat on request, and you can just sit there and watch the whales. Another beautiful point to view the whales is our rooftop terrace. Then, just like Beach Lodge, we have the courtyard at the back with your swimming pool, 4 bedrooms en suite. Bedrooms are a little bit smaller compared to Beach Lodge, and we did that on purpose because the whole house is basically your private space. So you don't really spend that much time in your bedroom. Ensuite, bathrooms, and then we have the kids' bedroom. So this room does not have a bathroom, but it can comfortably sleep 4 kids under 16 who would then go to their parents' room next door and use the bathroom. If it's not too windy, we can do outside meals. The lawn in front of Ocean House has some amazing views, and just picture yourself sitting here with your family, enjoying a lunch or a dinner. Upstairs is a bar area, sliding windows. We can open it up completely to let the sea breeze cool things down. So that is the Hoop Nature Reserve. Now we're moving north in South Africa. We are going to Madikwe Game Reserve, which is malaria-free. It is about a 4-hour drive from Johannesburg. It's on the Botswana border. So if you are driving from Johannesburg, you would come in on this road, enter at Molitedi Gate, and then our vehicle would meet you and take you to our private concession inside Madikwe. If you are flying in Federal Air, shuttle flights, or a private charter, you will be landing at Madikwe East Airstrip. And from the airstrip, it's about 30 to 40-minute game drive to get to our concession. We've got 2 houses on the Morukuru River, Owner's House and River House. And a little bit further away from the river, about 15 minutes drive, still within our concession, is Farmhouse, which is the third house. Just to give you an idea of the scale of Madikwe, for those of you who haven't been, if we would start a game drive and we would like to go all the way to that northwestern corner on the Botswana border, it would be nearly a 3-hour non-stop drive. So that just gives you an idea of the scale of Madikwe. So we do a lot of game drives in our concession, or we hang out in the southeastern corner of Madikwe, depending obviously on game sightings, but that's what we normally do to try and avoid a lot of the other traffic. Madikwe is big 5. You'll struggle a little bit to find leopards, but they are definitely there. Other than that, obviously your buffalo and elephants and rhino, black rhino as well as white rhino, your lion sightings, but we also have wild dogs, cheetah, brown hyena sightings are very common, aardwolf sightings are common. Earlier this year, we had a few pangolin sightings. It was quite unusual, but we hope that next summer, the next couple of months, we may see pangolin again, which would be great. Even our guides were quite surprised to see them. And then in our concession, we have this hide overlooking a waterhole. It's a brilliant viewing platform, bird watching, lunch spot, whatever. But at night, we can convert this into a sleep out option. It is included in the rate, so there's no surcharge for anybody that wants to do a night out in the bush. We prefer to set it up like this for 2 guests, but we can have a maximum of 5 guests staying here at the same time. There's some drinks, there's some snacks, you'll have a radio, a big flashlight, and you can just enjoy the game viewing. The guide will go back to the house with the rest of the family, and you can radio the guide anytime. He will come and collect you, and otherwise we will collect the guest the next morning with some hot chocolate or coffee, and then we'll set off on a game drive. We do a lot of bush meals as well, breakfast, lunches, dinners. We try to do every single meal in a different location, either somewhere around the house or somewhere in the bush. And as we have 3 different houses, we never mix the guests of the houses. So if you book one house for your clients will never meet the other guests that are in the other houses. It's completely private from start to finish. And that's why we can welcome kids. That's also why kids can join on safari. Imagine you got a family of 4 booked. They will have a bush dinner with their kids here, no one else, so the kids can run around, they can scream, they will not bother anybody else. So it's really nice for family travel. What we also do in Madikwe is conservation work, and Morukuru Goodwill Foundation has been a big contributor to conservation in Madikwe. Through safaris with the purpose, we allow our guests to be part of that conservation work, community support, and you can book this package on top of a 4-night stay. So you book your 4-night stay, you pay for your 4 nights, and then this package is an extra 81,000 Rand, or roughly $4,500, and it includes elephant collaring or rhino notching or something similar, a visit to the local school in Molatedi, and one of the researchers in Madikwe will come to the house and do a presentation on the research work that they do in Madikwe. So this package is optional, and the rate is the same regardless of whether it's a family of 4 or a family of 10. You would pay the 81,000 Rand or $4,500 because that covers the cost of the conservation work. It's really popular and it's really a hands-on experience. If you look at this picture, this is a guest that is actually clipping the ear of the rhino and taking that little piece out. So actually the actual notching. The vet will explain everything they do, and the guest, including children, can join and are asked to participate as well. So it's really a hands-on experience. So taking you to the properties now, owner's house. This house was originally created as the private holiday home of the owners of Morukuru family. It's 2 bedrooms only for 4 guests maximum. You've got your private pool, there's a fire pit, the river is behind the photographer, so you're overlooking the river. It's all in one house, so you've got your living room, your dining area, as well as the 2 bedrooms, all in one house. Both bedrooms are identical, they are en suite. You've got inside shower, outside showers, a big veranda, a deck around the house where you can sit for meals. And the name Morukuru is actually the local name for the tamboti tree. So when Morukuru owner's house was built, It was built around these tamboti trees, and the house was called Morukuru. And as we got bigger and got more properties, we just kept that name Morukuru and added family, because we're family owned, we're really a family business, and we welcome families into all our properties. Nice sala overlooking the Madikwe River, and there's a boma as well. So a few hundred meters to the left from owner's house, also overlooking the Madikwe River, is River House. It's a little bit bigger. It's got 3 bedrooms and the kids' bedroom, so we can accommodate 6 adults and 4 children under 16. This would be great for multi-gen family or 2 families with kids traveling together. Again, you've got your own private pool. There's your living area. There's a dining room. And then 3 bedrooms en suite. They are identical to owner's house, because if you have a bigger family and you want to do both owner's house and river house together, the houses need to be more or less the same. Outside showers, and then the kids' bedroom. The kids' bedroom can accommodate 4 kids under 16, but just like Ocean House, this kids' room also does not have a bathroom. So the kids would go to their parents' room to use the bathroom. There's a massage sala down at river level, in between owner's house and river house. So both houses can actually use this massage sala. And sometimes guests are lucky. They're sitting here, they're having a massage, and then elephants will pay them a little visit as they cross the river from the other side. They swim across, they start browsing on the trees right and left of the sala, which is quite a nice experience. There's a boma area at river house as well. And then 15 minutes away, in a different area of our concession, so it's not on the river, is Farmhouse. Farmhouse is the largest house, 5 bedrooms en suite for a maximum of 10 guests. There's a lot of lawn space around Farmhouse, and usually there's nyalas and warthogs and impala feeding on the lawns as well. They're used to us. They're definitely not tame, but they won't run away if people are moving around the house. Your bar and living area at Farmhouse, and then 5 bedrooms en suite. Nice big bathrooms, and each of the bedrooms has a veranda as well. You can just sit here, have a cup of coffee, and enjoy the views and the animals that are roaming around the house. So all houses are fenced in for security. There's one fence that protects owner's house and river house, and then there's another fence that protects Farmhouse. So kids can run around freely and safely. There's no chance of elephants or buffalo or lions suddenly appearing. So it's completely safe. There's a nice big pool as well at Farmhouse. And then finally, I'm taking you to Johannesburg, which at the moment looks pretty much like this picture. Beautiful jacarandas flowering. There's a bit of thunderstorms, lightning going on every now and then. First rains are falling, which we desperately need in Johannesburg because it's been very, very dry and hot lately. And in Sandton, we've got 2 properties, the 9-bedroom Ethel Place house, which used to be the former Ethel Place Hotel, but we no longer operate as a hotel. It's only exclusive use. So it still looks exactly the same, but you would have to take the entire property. Some people ask me, but isn't that way too big? If you have a multi-gen family with grandparents and maybe 3 of their kids with partners and then their grandchildren, you need quite a few rooms, especially if there's some teenage kids who prefer to have their own room. And then for those families, Ethel Place House could actually be the ideal solution. We're about 30 minutes from our Tambo Airport. We're walking distance from Sandton City, but in a very quiet residential area. Some of the rooms are interleading, so that could be ideal if it's a family with younger kids and they really want to be close together. Other rooms are not interleading, but they're all nice and spacious. And the view from your lounge and dining area into the garden. And honestly, when you sit here, you don't feel like Sandton City is only a 15-minute walk away. It's very quiet, and you can really relax after a long flight, or maybe in between safari and the beach destination, whatever is necessary. If you need 1 or 2 nights in Johannesburg, it's a great stopover. Next door to Ethel Place House, we have our Ethel Place Villa, which is smaller. It's only 4 bedrooms. We can accommodate up to 8 guests. There's a little boma, you've got your own private pool, your own garden, 4 bedrooms on that first floor, and downstairs is your living and dining area. 3 bedrooms look like this, and then 1 bedroom is a little bit smaller. It's ideal for younger guests. We can accommodate 8 adults, as long as they're aware that the 1 bedroom is a little bit smaller. So a lot of people are interested in rates because they feel like if you book an exclusive use house, that will most probably be very expensive. So if you look at this sheet and you look at the low season rec rates for 23 for next year, let's take River House in Madikwe, for instance, which can accommodate 6 adults and 4 kids. If you will book that for 4 adults and 3 kids under 16, your rate per night for the house is 54,000 rand, and that works out to 7,700 rand per person, or $450 per person, roughly. The same applies to farmhouse. Owner's house is a bit more expensive because it's a little bit smaller. Ocean House on the coast in low season for 6 adults and 4 kids, like a proper multi-gen family, is $300 per person per night, and that includes everything. So you can see that those rates are not actually that bad. And just to show you the high season rate, you know, to be fair, otherwise you may think, oh, it's probably a lot more expensive. Take a look at River House again. In high season, same scenario, you're looking at 11,000 rand per person, or approximately $650 per person per night for 4 adults and 3 kids. And you have your own 3-bedroom house, private vehicle, all your meals, all your drinks included, your sleep out as an option included. Ocean House, $400 per person per night, roughly, in high season. And then if you book the Morukuru Family Journey promotion, which basically is any combination of minimum 7 nights in Madikwe and the Hoop combined. So let's say 4 nights in one of the houses in Madikwe and 3 nights at Ocean House or at Beach Lodge, we will give you a further 2 complimentary nights at our place. And that means you've got a 9-night itinerary that includes 2 nights in Johannesburg, and you can use them however, they don't need to be together, so you can do 1 night and 1 night later. 4 nights Madikwe, 3 nights the Hoop, and you add something in Cape Town, and you've got a really nice South African family itinerary, mainly exclusive use. All your meals, drinks, activities, everything included, except for Johannesburg. But as a city destination, there's plenty of options to go and have dinners and meals elsewhere. So that basically concludes the Morukuru family update. I don't know if there's any questions, Alice. I don't know if you want to.
That was brilliant. Thank you, Rents. At this stage, it looks like we don't have any questions. Do pop them in the Q&A, everyone, if you do have any questions for Rinsa. Obviously, we will be following up with the recording, and we will send you all the contact details that you'll need as well. So you will get everything that you need, and if you think of questions after, then do feel free to ping them through to Rinsa or to us at Small Marketing. We'll obviously forward them on. But I think, oh, here we go, we've got a few coming through. So thank you, Elsie. Do you have transfers from Clockweng border for Madikwe?
From the border post, so between Botswana and Madikwe, we don't have transfers as such. Of course, everything can be booked and arranged. We get that question a few times more often. Keep in mind that there is a boarding crossing involved as well. So it would only make sense if the guests are already in Botswana and don't want to first fly to Johannesburg and then come to Madikwe, then we can arrange it. But if guests are in South Africa, it does not really make sense to fly them to Gaborone and then do a transfer to Madikwe, because with the border crossing and the cost involved, it will be cheaper and probably easier and quicker to transfer from Johannesburg.
Okay. Thank you. Now Alice has asked, you've mentioned seeing wildlife around the camp, but if it's fenced, how is this possible?
Okay, the fenced area around Farmhouse is about 1 square kilometer. So that's quite a large area, a large surface that has been fenced in. It goes halfway up a mountain slope as well. So inside that huge fenced area, there's a lot of general game. So that's why you would see around Farmhouse, you would see nyalas, impalas, warthogs, and all sorts of small antelope species. You can even go for a bit of a walk as a guest when you are at Farmhouse. You can go for a run. That would also be the area where we take younger kids under 16 for a nature walk. Even if they are staying at Owner's House and River House, we can take them into that area because it is so big, and we can take them there for a nature walk. The other two houses, River House and Owner's House, you don't normally see game around the houses other than on the other side of the river or inside the river.
Okay, awesome, thank you. And Ingrid has asked, can you as well stay, for example, with children around 20 years old in River House? Can they stay in the children's rooms?
No, the children's rooms is limited to children under 16. So if you would have a family where some of the children are 16 or older, we would then put them in the normal room, like one of the 3 bedrooms en suite. If it's a bigger family and you need more rooms, then I would recommend looking at Farmhouse, the 5-bedroom house. So the children's room at Ocean House and the children's room at River House is limited to children under 16.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fab, thank you. Brilliant. Well, I'll just double check the chat, but I think that might be all of our questions. We've got lots of lovely comments. Thank you, Julianne, Julia, Cornelia, and also Lucas. And Ingrid, thank you for your kind words. Amazing. Well, we will be in touch with you all, sending through the presentation and all the info you need. And of course, do get in touch with Rinsa with any questions that you might think of after. Thank you, Rinsa.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for your attention and time.
Thanks, guys. Bye.